My name is Rachel, I'm 26 years old, and I'm currently going through my first round of IVF. In this video, I'm going to take you through egg retrieval day and tell you what to expect, how my recovery was, signs and symptoms to look out for, what's next in our journey, and how this whole process works. If you're doing IVF soon, this video will be super helpful, or if you're just curious about fertility stuff in general, I hope you find this video interesting, entertaining, and educational. If you have any questions that I didn't cover, please leave them in the comments below, and I'll definitely get to them. Good morning, guys. Happy day. I just got out of my pre-retrieval instruction appointment. It is Thursday, October 19th, and my egg retrieval is tomorrow morning at 8:30 in Miami. So we have to be there at 7:30 in the morning. I'm not allowed to eat or drink anything after midnight. It's gonna be IV anesthesia. I'm so excited. Everything is looking good. My follicles are looking good. I have a good amount at the size that they want them to be at. What else? Let me think of. I did blood work today, and yeah, I'm so excited to get these eggs out of me and get back to my normal life. See how many eggs we retrieve tomorrow. So they'll tell me right after the procedure how many we got, and then the next day they'll tell me how many of them fertilized, and then a week later is when I find out how many of them actually made it to a day 6 blastocyst. Today's gonna be getting my life together. I've been kind of scatterbrained during this STEMS process. It honestly hasn't been that bad. Week 1 was way worse than week 2. The past few days I felt almost perfectly fine, a lot of like cramping and discomfort, but that's honestly, I'm used to that. But week 1 was really terrible with the insomnia, and the cramping was actually way worse week 1, which is interesting. I actually have to do a trigger shot at 9:30, so I don't know if I'll make it home in time, but I brought it with me just in case. It's Lupron. I did a trigger last night of 80 units of Lupron, and then I also have to do one this morning at 9:30 for 40 units. So happy to be done with the injections. This is gonna be my last injection. Okay, I didn't make it home by 9:30, so I am doing the trigger shot in the car. No big deal. Ready? And that was our last injection, everybody. Not too bad, yeah? Egg retrieval day is finally here. We had to wake up super early because we have to do it in the Miami office, and it's in South Miami, so it's about a 45-minute drive without traffic. So we wanted to leave the house by 6 o'clock. That way we could beat the morning rush hour, and they told me to take off all of my jewelry. So I took everything off except for my forward helix piercing because I could not figure out how to take that off, but luckily it wasn't an issue. So they also told me to wear baggy pants and socks because your feet get cold, and also to bring an extra change of underwear because they're gonna dress you themselves afterwards, which I was a little bit nervous about, but it ended up being totally fine. Luckily the traffic wasn't bad at all. They also said to bring a Gatorade for after, so I had AJ run inside the gas station and pick one up. We got there just on time, but we had to wait 45 minutes in the waiting room, which was really frustrating. But once they took us in the back, we got all ready, and the rest of the process went pretty smoothly. I got to keep my shirt on and put this hairnet on. They didn't say anything about my piercing, and this thing was happening right outside my little box cubicle thing. This is the liquid nitrogen for the embryos. They also put an IV in, which hurt so much, and this is afterwards. I was so loopy, you guys. She told me how many embryos I got, and I just like didn't even respond. I was so out of it. She was like, "What's wrong?" I was like, "Nothing, I'm just so tired." And this is me getting all the footage for you guys of the post-procedure. AJ was not with me the entire time. My little lazy eye here, showing you my IV again. Then we went to get breakfast after at this Cuban cafe, and I spilled my coffee because I was so out of it, and I ended up eating all of this food. All right, we're back home. It's been many hours later. I think it's like 4:30. We got home around 11 after we went to that Cuban restaurant, which was pushing it. I was like in pain at the restaurant, but I was so hungry and thirsty. AJ just came inside and I got nervous, but I took a 2-hour nap when we got home, so I woke up at like 1:15. I was using the heating pad over there, and I took 2 Tylenols when I got home because I was pretty crampy. And yeah, other than that, I'm feeling pretty good right now. I'm super bloated. This is the most bloated I've been during this whole process. You probably can't even tell, but to me, I can tell, but that's okay. I also went to CVS just now to pick up some stool softener. Let me show you. I'm also making some dinner. I'm just making spaghetti and meatballs. I picked this up. It's the generic for Colace, and it's a stool softener and a stimulant laxative because after surgery of any kind, anesthesia, you can have trouble going for a few days, and I hate that. I also organized my pills because I have to take, hi Minnie, hi! I have to take a bunch of stuff. Well, not really, just doxycycline, which is a antibiotic for the next 12 days. And then these are just my prenatals. Let me just show you. Let me show you. Oh, by the way, I got this jacket at the mall the other day from Zara, and I love it. It's so cute. I love jackets. I'm always cold, so that's the vibe. I also got a new pendant for my necklace. Can you guys see? I got it from Macy's. It's solid gold with diamonds. It was like $300, but I wanted to invest in like a real gold pendant, and I wanted a cross, so I love it. And this is just the gold box chain from Etsy that I showed you. Anyways, I'm getting distracted. All right, so for pills, I'm taking doxycycline twice a day for 12 days, stool softener as needed. I'm taking my Metnex. This is for my MTHFR gene mutation. I'm taking the Ritual prenatal and the Ritual probiotic. I've been taking this proactively for the past month because I knew this constipation thing might happen. And also, since I'm on antibiotics, figured might as well. I'm also taking this brand of magnesium. This is for sleep. If you watched my IVF stims video, I had really bad insomnia for a while, and last night was the first night that I actually slept through the night. I did not wake up even one time, which is crazy because you would think the day before my egg retrieval I would be anxious, but I wasn't. And I woke up, I slept from like 9:30 to 5:30 straight. Amazing. And I'm also taking 2 of these until I run out of this box, and then hopefully I'll be back on track with my sleep. This is just like a natural sleep aid. And then lastly, I'm just taking some vitamin D and K2. I'm so happy to be done with injectable medications. I'm so happy to just be unmedicated for a month or so, or however long, until we do our embryo transfer. I was asking the nurse yesterday when I was getting my egg retrieval instructions. I asked her if she thinks it's worth it to try to squeeze in my follow-up sooner, because if you've been watching, you know my follow-up with my doctor isn't until November 30th, and that's when he's going to go over the egg retrieval, how it went, and we'll have... Stop! She's tearing up my carpet. That's when we'll know our embryo results, how many we have, all that jazz. So he's gonna go over all of that and then tell us the plan for transfer. It's a 6-week prep, so it's definitely gonna be a January transfer unless somehow I get squeezed in earlier, but I don't think that's gonna happen. So I'm just not gonna stress about it. It is what it is. I'm excited to get back into the gym and have, like I said, an unmedicated month and go from there. So yeah, that's the plan. What do you think? Oh, and I completely forgot to say, I don't know if I'm sharing how many eggs I got. I just honestly, I'm not sure. So, but I'm very happy with the number that we did get. Very, very happy. If you want to message me privately, maybe I'll respond like individually to people, but I don't know if I want it like out there because there's a lot of opinions on IVF and embryos and all that jazz. And I just don't know if I want that type of comments from people, but message me and maybe I'll respond. I also forgot to mention I started eating prunes when I got home, so I had 3 so far because this helps to get things moving. So I'm being super proactive about it because I have a friend who went through IVF literally like almost at the same time as me, a couple weeks ahead of me, and she had really bad constipation. So I'm jumping the gun here. I'm gonna have a couple more of these tonight. Are you hungry? You hungry? Oh my gosh. It's not dinner time. It's only 4:52. I forgot to mention I'm also taking cabergoline once a day for 8 nights, and this helps to lower your estrogen levels after IVF because they are so inflated. My estrogen was 4,200 yesterday morning, which is so high. They also said that I should expect a period around 7 days after today because of my trigger shot was a Lupron shot as opposed to like the other shot that they give, which can be 14 days after, but they said 7 days for me, and I'm hoping that the period that I get isn't monstrous because I have a history of bad periods. So I'm praying that it's just gonna be a normal, okay period. Hello, it is 3 days later and I wanted to give an update on how I'm feeling. I said that the bloating wasn't terrible, but it's actually gotten a lot worse. Let me show you. So this is with compression leggings. Let me take this down for you. It's actually insane. Look at this bloat, you guys. Unacceptable. I look like I am 5 months pregnant. This is crazy. I have never experienced bloating like this, and I'm not sure how I feel about it. Well, I am sure how I feel about it. It's absolutely terrible. In terms of what you can do to minimize bloating, besides, you know, drinking lots of fluids, eating saltier foods, drinking electrolytes, which I've been doing, there's not much you can do. And this is day 3, so it's Monday. My egg retrieval was on Friday. It's really uncomfortable. As far as the achiness, that has gone down a lot, so really happy about that. Constipation is real though, very real. I've been doing the 2-in-1 Colace twice a day, morning and night. Oh my gosh, I have to take I forgot I had to take my antibiotic this morning. Thanks for reminding me. Okay. Where were we? I've been going to the bathroom in very small amounts in the mornings, but it's nowhere near enough. That's a little bit TMI, but I'm just keeping it real. Definitely something to expect is bloating post-procedure, like the days after, because during stimps I was not bloated almost at all, which I was like, okay, I'm the lucky one. I'm the one person in the world who's not gonna get bloated from IVF, but no, you will get bloated. It's just, it may be after. And the constipation. So those are like the 2 main things, but I feel good enough to go to the gym, go on walks. They say not to exercise heavily until you get your period. So I've just been doing like stair steppers, very mild stuff. Also, another thing is keeping out for OHSS symptoms, which is ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome. Something to keep in mind, especially if you have more than 15 follicles, you are at risk for that syndrome. So signs of that include extreme pain, extreme bloating, anything that feels extreme in terms of recovery. I haven't experienced anything like that. Fever, vomiting, all that stuff. And that was something I didn't know because I thought that was only pre-egg retrieval, but it's actually post-egg retrieval as well. So even though you've done your egg retrieval and your eggs, most of your eggs are out of you, you can still develop or have OHSS, which is very interesting. And also you're still at risk for ovarian torsion, which is when the ovaries twist up on themselves. That's why they say not to do HIIT or heavy lifting until you get your period and your ovaries have completely like shrunken down to their original size. In terms of what's next, I got my fertilization report on Saturday, which is 1 day after my egg retrieval. They messaged me at 9 in the morning and we had a 98-99% fertilization rate, which is so amazing. But I have heard that the fertilization is the easiest part out of the whole process. So what's next is waiting until Friday, which is day 7. My clinic is going to email me with my blastocyst results. So basically, even though we have fertilized them, they still have to grow for 5 to 7 days and develop into blastocysts, at which point they get frozen until you want to transfer them. So we don't get any updates from my clinic until day 7. I know some clinics will update you day 3, day 6, every single day. It just really depends. I think this is gonna be good for my mental health though, because when these embryos are developing, you really don't know how many you're gonna have until the very end, because some develop slower than others. So if they update you on day 3 and they say, hey, you have 5, but 4 are still like lagging behind, that may cause unnecessary stress. So for me, I'm okay waiting until day 7. I'm going back to my normal life. I'm getting back into my routine today. Woke up early, did all my stuff, gonna go to the gym. Just gonna try to distract myself until Friday, but surprisingly, I'm not as obsessed with it as I thought I would be. I've been a lot more relaxed during this IVF process than I would have anticipated, which I'm so thankful for because I'm typically a very like neurotic anal person. But when it came down to my follicle counts and all my ultrasounds and my egg numbers, I was just like, it is what it is. I'm not expecting a certain number. I won't be happy or sad at a certain number. It is what it is. I'm leaving it up to God, and whatever he wants to do with this process is totally fine with me. Overall, I would say this IVF process was hard in some ways that I did not expect and easy in other ways that I did not expect. But overall, I would say in general, it was as to be expected. It was difficult emotionally, mentally, and then a little bit difficult physically, more towards the end of egg retrieval, post-recovery. But overall, it's all good, and it's worth it in the end. I hope that I don't have to do a second or third round. That would be amazing if we get enough embryos this round. I would be so grateful, and the people who have to do 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rounds are champs. This is not an easy process by any means, but it is doable, and as long as you put your head down, get through it, you'll get through it, and anything is possible, and it's just a moment in time. It may feel like this sucks and this is forever and I hate this, but when you think about it, this moment in time of a few months of doing IVF is just a small blip in our entire life, and if we can get biological children from this process, then we will look back and think, I'm so glad that I did that, because it is so worth it. So I hope this encourages you guys, and if you have any questions or I forgot to mention something, please leave it in the comments down below. I'll definitely answer them either in the comments or in a future video, and please give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful or useful or entertaining in any way. If you're new here, I do post lifestyle videos, lots of work vlogs, productivity vlogs. Recently I've been posting a lot of fertility stuff, but my main kind of content is just lifestyle, productivity, work-life balance, fitness, things like that. So make sure to subscribe if you're interested, and let's see what happens next in our fertility journey. Bye.
What if the world had more of your smile? What if the wind could spread your love?